Hello, welcome back. Thank you so much for being here. Today we're going to be testing out the two newest quads from Viseart. We have the Petit Fours Tyrion and we have the Petit Fours Praline Epice. So we're going to try out both of these today. I'm going to share my thoughts. I don't really have a lot to compare these to because I really don't have a large Viseart collection, but I still wanted to pick these up, try them on, and share my thoughts. So let's hop right into it. These each retail for $25 US, 30 for Canadian, and these are available now on their website and Beautylish. I ordered directly from their website on launch day, and honestly these took nearly a month to get here. So I don't know if that's normal or if it was just the holidays. I'm really not sure, but that is something I might keep in mind for future orders. So these do have a really great shelf life. These are made in the USA and have a 36-month shelf life, which is really great, especially compared to a lot of other formulas that are 12 months, 24 months. 36 months is pretty good. So this is the Praline Epice, and this is what this one looks like. Super beautiful, very, very neutral. You get what looks like two shimmers, kind of a more satin shade, and then you get a matte here. It looks very, very beautiful. And here are the swatches of the Praline quad. Very, very beautiful. The matte really didn't swatch the best. The shimmers swatched beautifully, but if I recall correctly, the Viseart mattes don't typically swatch the best. And here is what the Tyrion quad looks like. So very, very beautiful. Definitely a lot more purple based. Looks stunning. And here are the swatches of the Tyrion quad. I will say this lightest shade right here felt really dry to the touch, but it did swatch beautifully. This lighter shade really didn't swatch well, but the purples are looking really, really beautiful. Okay, let me zoom you in and we will do a different look on each eye, and I will share my overall thoughts on these little quads. All right, hello. So we're going to start with the Tyrion quad on this side. So I think I'm just going to start with this lightest shade right here. This will be my crease shade. I'm not 100% sure what I want to do with this side. I do just have some concealer and powder on my eyes, but no actual primer or anything like that. If I know I'm typically just going to be taking my makeup off right after or taking off my eyeshadow because I did two different looks, I have been using a concealer rather than a primer lately. I do love the Viseart formula because I find that the mattes are typically incredibly easy to work with. They are just an excellent formula, and for the longest time they were much more of a professional makeup artist brand, but this is a formula that really kind of takes a lot of the work out of it for you, which I mentioned in every eyeshadow palette review. That is something I just really, really appreciate. Okay, so that really light shade doesn't do too much, but it does set up a nice base for what we're going to do next. I'm going to go into that matte, deep matte purple. This is in Tyrion, and I'm just going in, starting on the outer corner, just really lightly patting that there. And this shade is nice because even though it is a very, very deep purple, it's not as intimidating as it looks. Because if you can see, I was able to pat that on the eye and I was able to blend it up, sheer it out quite easily. It's still looking a little patchy on the edges, but I can fix that. Okay, I want to dip back into that purple, and I just want to see if I can build on that outer corner just a little bit. And then blending the edges. You could do a really pretty halo eye with this. I don't think I'm going to do that today, but you could do such a pretty halo eye with this quad. Okay, I was able to get a little bit of added depth, I think. I don't really think I want to go in with this purple all over the lid. So I think I'm going to pick up a little bit on a brush. One thing I do love about the Viseart formula is that the shimmers can be applied with a brush without needing to spray the brush or anything like that. I love that we have that option with Viseart because I always say my preferred way to apply shimmers is my fingers, and it is because you get the best impact, but I would much rather use a brush. So I'm just patting that on the outer half of the lid, and it's actually really, really pretty. Okay, so I really like that. I'm just going to blend those edges a little bit more. Now I want to take this lighter champagne shade also on a brush. I mentioned this one actually felt really, really dry when I was swatching it, which was interesting, but it did swatch beautifully. Ooh, that's pretty. Okay, that is pretty, but I think I want to go back into that purple shimmer just to really help me get a little bit of extra depth on that outer corner. This would have been a really, really pretty quad for New Year's as well. It's kind of why I was hoping it would be in before then, honestly, because this would have been gorgeous for New Year's. Okay, I feel like I had a little bit of an issue blending that shimmery purple just around the edges, but otherwise I think this looks pretty nice. Let me clean this up and pop on some mascara. I'll be back to share the final look with this quad, and then we will hop into the other one. All right, so here is the final look with the Tyrion quad. I think mascara really ended up pulling this one together. I do think this is pretty. This probably isn't going to be one I reach for a ton, but I do think this is one that would be great for New Year's. I think it's super pretty. I love a good purple and silver moment. I think those two make a beautiful, beautiful combo. So I do think this is a pretty quad. I really do. But let's get into the Praline quad, which we know I am the very most excited about. I am going to start with that matte brown right here. And this one I'm also just going to start with on that outer corner. That's a really beautiful neutral brown. I know a brown is a brown, but this is a really beautiful neutral. That is beautiful in the crease. I do just want to grab a little bit more to see if I can really build it up on that outer corner, just to get some depth. Yeah, that's working out pretty well. And it still just looks beautifully blended. Takes no time to blend this in. I love it. Okay, grabbing a brush, I'm gonna go into this second brown right here because it looks stunning. And I do want this to be my all over lid shade. That's super pretty. That's beautiful. That's like a really pretty kind of rose gold. Love that. So pretty. That has the prettiest shine to it. Okay, I love that. I'm gonna grab a little bit of this one right here. And this one's gonna go between that shimmer and the matte just to kind of fuse them together and add a little bit of extra depth to the outer corner. And then I'm just gonna go in with my blending brush and just kind of blend around those edges. I think I mentioned this in a recent video, but I do have a new camera and I'm really, really excited about it, but I just wanted to mention that I do apologize for any growing pains I might be experiencing. So far it seems minimal, but just in case. I am going to take this shade right here. This is going to be my inner corner shade. It's super pretty. I am loving that I'm able to really zoom you in when I'm testing out a palette now. I didn't have that capability before, and now I do. So I'm really, really loving that. I feel like I can really show you how the shadows are working and show you what I'm doing, and it just makes such a difference. But I appreciate you bearing with me while I try to get used to having all these new features that I didn't have before. I'm just adding a little bit more of that lid shade in there. I just think it's so pretty. I've got two very different looks going on right now, and I really like them both. Let me pop on some mascara, and then I will come back and share my final thoughts on both of these quads. All right, so here is the final look with the Praline Epice quad, and I love it. Of course I do. This is absolutely a look I would go for any day. So let me zoom you out and then I will share my final thoughts on these quads. So final thoughts, I think the quality of these is wonderful. It definitely holds up to the quality of the other Viseart quads that I do have in my collection, so I'm really happy with that. I think these color stories are really beautiful. The formulas are phenomenal. Like I mentioned, one thing I really love about the Viseart shimmer formula in particular is that you can apply them with a brush. You don't need to spray the brush. You don't need to do anything. anything, it's just going to apply it beautifully. And I actually really, really love when I have that option. It's just that a lot of formulas, you get the most impact with a finger. And with Viseart, I just don't find that to be the case. So I do love that. I like that the mats were very blendable, very easy to work with, easy to build as well, so that it looks like you got a lot more depth and dimension, but I really like these quads. I, of course, do favor the Praline a little bit more just because it is my type of color story. I love working with it. It's a great everyday quad if you want it to be. The Tyrion is beautiful, and I do think that it still will be a really good New Year's quad. I really, really like this. I think it's beautiful. Again, I do love a silver and purple moment. I think this would be absolutely stunning with a halo eye, so I do want to try that at some point as well. But overall, I think these are beautiful. I think if you've had your eye on them, I think you would really, really enjoy them, especially if you're familiar with the Viseart formula and you like their formulas. I don't think these will disappoint you. You probably have this type of shade somewhere in your collection if you have a lot of Viseart. If you have a lot of eyeshadow in general, you probably have this one, but this one's definitely more unique. However, this one might get a little bit more use. So it's really all in your own preferences. So overall, I'm really, really pleased with these. I think they're absolutely stunning. Let me know down below if you are a fan of Viseart. Did you purchase these? I love hearing from you guys. And also, I don't normally review the Viseart releases, but they're a brand I've kind of been debating adding to my roster for the new year. I know last year was definitely my year of NARS, and you guys seem to really like that. I know I love it, so I'm thinking about adding in Viseart this year as well, but let me know down below if you would want to see that, because I can definitely do that as well. And let me know if there are any other brands you'd like me to add in this year. Just as we get into a new year, I'm thinking about where I would like to expand a little bit, and I'm always excited to try new makeup. So let me know down below what you'd like to see from me, what brands you might like to see on my channel. I love hearing from you guys so, so much. If you're new here, I hope you'll consider subscribing before you go. I do upload at least 3 new videos every single week. Thank you again so very much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!